AP Radio 105.7.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
You're listening to AP Radio.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
AP Radio 105.7.
You're listening to AP Radio.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
AP Radio 105.7. You're listening to AP Radio.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
AP Radio 105.7.
AP Radio 105.7.
Action Power TV, the way of salvation.
AP Radio 105.7. You're listening to AP Radio.
AP Radio 105.7.
This program is sponsored by Kino Computers and Ella Rain Vesture.
Donsia bo aha APTV and AP Radio 105.7 the Casa Video so abusua mamu nyina mu adwo emamwa kwa bansam hodo ayaboabo no se donsia bremu kase bo ene yede beso mo bane boso me de toso dun wotwe donsia toso mienu emo yensam no de bedi mu akotini bi eni High Court ama Ora Freddie Blake can etiteni de ma NPP amanyoko bela eye 800,000 cedis. Sanso ana era John Dumelo wano na yeso afa be de chiro hwehwia yonsam so no akwakyerkyere nsem wa kye parliament efa fertilizer ehonsem mo Yama pere akasa de afa danya ne boden ene landlord so mo ma timamufo twamne bo ene wo mo empese beje 6 months ne mum 2 years ene wo mo de 20% ne yama pere akasa fa ho Amano bona se ukọ UK ayese meningitis amano homne so e wo Kent na so manipa mienu wo mo to nanom e wo nsiedo Yede dodo no a ene kasa nsem we ho na yeboabo no se no siabremo kase bo na yede abeso mo news.apmedia.gh.com ayensam no ewo ho sanso na Facebook and YouTube yen handle no eye APTVGH TikTok Instagram ena X afidie ne @media_gh ayedwumadie nyina ubetumi edu ani ade eche Boss Lady Afia Kyem Agyemang meeting Yesha yansam no asia Dr. Kukudazi Efremius of Penny or Action Power Faith Ministries yano. Na nkyerɛkyerɛ nkwaje kwan ba yakwam kwasiata no pa bia no so ewo yen kasa fidie so mu no no your ability to see. Na Dr. Ephraim ena ma yehu se nipa bebre ente nyame ase efa sunsumo edisam ene de yefrɛ no se enkomhye no enipa ente ase ene wo bia yese oyo D4 so enipa bi ente ase Dr. Ephraim ma yehu se nipa binomo ya wonomo ye bembonsam ne abafo afra wo mo ho asofo mame ene edifo ya wo mo de wo mani na omo wo honhum ho no ede kyerɛ nkrofo kwan na Dr. Ephraim ma yehu se ye kon honhum eni ba ye bia wo ho ne mum ye wani eni nti wo mo wani ni bi ene wo mafa kwati kwan so atete nsɔre frɛ wo mo adifo nti se wo kono honhum bibi no wo ka kyerɛ we no enkyerɛ se ofri nyame anase nyame na afrɛ no ebetumi aba se nipa nani ya wo honhum mo no ene wo de honhum bibi aka kyerɛ tie ma yani ena ho
Adia biewa ekyerɛ se nipa bi enim nyame eye sunsumu adie ene asemfo a yefrɛ no odifo no sa wodwi se esanse obi eyi sunsumu ahintasem bi a efa ho adinti no sa nipa no eye odifo a unnim nyame kyerɛ se bembonsam anase benfo ba ebetimi ayi sunsumu asem bi adi afa ho se obi obayi a nipa krono o sunsumu eniwa anu ti nipa ote saa no obetumi ahunu nipa wo ye sunsumu obetumi abodin obetumi abokrodin eni adwuma wo ye esanse wo sunsun mo no de nyame won kronkron ho no awon bone nsoso betumi ehunu. They take anyone who reveals spiritual information to be a prophet. Esanse na nipa no nim nyame nti no wo mu nim de oye otro odifo wo mu fa obi a obetumi ada sunsumu asem bia di afa wo hu bia se oyo odifo eno nti na mema wo mu wo beye edada wo mu no mema wo mu wo beye ene ya fa wo mu se wo mu ye difo.
Na Dr. Ephraim Twanso kwaye mfato ho ewo twerɛkronko ni mfa Paul Neselas nyame asomafo ya wo mkoyo madwuma na donko bi kyerɛ sɛ we mo wo mo ye nyame enipa ya won mo boa akyerɛ enkrofo enkwagye kwan saa asɛmi ema Dr. Ephraim kyerɛ bu sa donko no na enye nyame na bi na nenemum owo aniwa ne bi wo honhom mu eno ena ode kan ya na enye ni papa eno ena Dr. Ephraim kyerɛ mo sɛ so obi ka ho asɛm ba odin bokura wofiri mu keka bibi e fa ho bi a kyerɛ wa no enkyerɛ sɛ oyidifo ananya me nipa ebetumi ba sɛ eni a wo kan ye na wo ye mfato ho wo Bible mu a kyerɛ ye no ebetumi ba sɛ eye no bia
wo asomafo nwoma no ti dunsia jichemu dunsia ene dunson no wo abra na nyame nkoa Paul ene Silas ekobompaye no donko eba bia na owo akomuhum edi wo machi na otia mu kase sa mema we eye osorosoro nyame nko a wo mu kire ye nkwaje kwan no de ababa wa no eka fa Paul ene Silas ho no na ye no kura trododo enso beye no na wo no mu no ene ma ne hu se de na o mu sitie kura pa na onye odifo ba na oye beifo nso otumi hu nipa na o moye sa ena esi wo na ye wiase bembo sanfo ene a beifo ma ena ye o mo hu se o mo ye nyame adifo emema ni nyame adifo ma o mo di dada dipa esanse nipa ti sa no nim nyame nti no omunim said the nyamidi for dwumade no esitie nyamedi for enyi sunsumu ahinkasam amfa nipa ho keke ye kan nyame agyen adi kyerɛ nipa ye kasa de nyame si ho omo no adi kyerɛ wɔn eniema a ɛyɛ mfomso ɛwɔ wɔn ho a ebesi wɔn kwan na ma wɔn kɔ nyame ho saa na nyame adi for ɛyɛ enomen sonsori a eda nyame adifo kan ene atradifo entem
we ayasofopani Dr. Kukudazi Ephraim ne nkyerɛkyerɛ nkwaje kwan kwasiada no pa bia no nso ye nkasa fidie 105.7 no so sibisubiom wukwada ene fiade no nso ye nwumere no nso ye to so a high court ye wokofodua akwatenase kane NPP chairman ye Freddy Blair asam so a wama ne bail 800,000 cedis ene agyinamudie mienu na ohwe ye yasam no a ekropon circuit court ene di kan etena so na wonmo tena se no no de wa ma ne bail oka se won kɔ remand na wotwe ne ba miensa kɔ mienu kɔ miensa mu wabra obesa abepie mu court biem eprobo some no ne da etoso enkron Afia mu ne nyina ne se asanse bi a da epoye mantem ketase efam ho a na obi ahyase esi ne dan ewoso no ye wrai hye mom kodwi dan no eguye eno ho asem na akwa mu court a ehwefo ne yetiefo bedoma kai edi kan de mu nsem abomu a enei court asa atena se biem ne sansa ne lawyer fo kyerɛ se ekropon circuit court kwa atena se a Omama ye wrai bill no man tia si ntom ko apili ye ekofodua high court amene o kase ye Freddy Blair ne nsa atumi aka bail no ana wo hwehwe no owa Godfrey yeboa dame wono enne ye lawyer pani ye odon sam hodo etutwa
The denial of bail to Freddy Blair was quite unusual somebody with very sufficient ties in the country, no one can reasonably expect that Freddie Blay is one person who absconded from the tradition, let alone evade the process of the law. And for that matter, clearly, bail should have been granted. It's an offense that is quite spurious, without any basis at all. He never committed the offense that he's been charged with, which is causing unlawful damage to property. Indeed, the prosecution's case is the facts of the prosecution's case. It's a show that he was not the one who authorized the alleged destruction of any property, and indeed there was no property at all on the land, or there was no building on the land to be destroyed. There was no building at all. So, I mean, these matters that are quite strange. I mean, I see this development as very unhealthy for our judicial system. It brings the judiciary into dispute when you have such a person denied bail and be sent on remand for about 3 weeks to come back after the Easter holidays. It can only be to punish a person unjustifiably because the matter has not even been gone to. And if you go into the matter, you see that clearly he cannot be guilty of the offense at all. Besides, the judge also varied the condition was for him to have been put through the requirement of having 2 public servants and all itself would be a little bit not necessarily hard, but a little bit harsh. And I thought that it ought to be varied, and it was varied in the way that it was done. But I'll say that, I mean, we very much deplore the conduct of the Second Court judge at the Kopon. We think that such conduct, apart from bringing the judiciary into dispute, is actually symptomatic of some judicial high-handedness. High-handedness in the sense that he was treated, from our perspective, perhaps on account of his background, political background and all that. But this is not a matter that bail be granted to any person at all, no matter how high standing or low standing the person in society. And so how would you treat him in this way, especially when there's even no evidence of service to the summons and whatever.
Abusuya we ye Godfred Yeboa Dame. Ono ne je musa lawyer pani edema kane NPP tisen ye Freddie Blay. Na ento so no nyamfo John Dumelo MP edema ayawa so West Wogo na bato mpeso ano so. On na ye so afo abedi chiroshe enuane na faku ayo elsam so na ewo mrase bedwafie no. Akokasa de afaku ayo se ne fertilizers wo mo che edema akuafo ne ho nsam na Wachre musa 2023 and 2024 no one more to me enya fertilizers ye kekabo mo 742,990 who sika no na 970.68 million cedis no wachre sa fertilizers na enkwada nche no 2025 mo Kingdom of Morocco for ebre yen fertilizers makomakobe 40,000 bags no amosi yen famo we hia yomo ne no wachre se wobansa kan 2025 July monti 2026 womo be hwase no mache e dia makuafo ebie won so and wose womo be sisi farm service centers e wo man Ghana fa nai bia 250 na chere se empeswa bia betumi enya bi na aboa makuaye ho nsam atumi akonanim.
Speaker, between 2017 and 2022, the government implemented a flagship program known as the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign. The primary objectives of the program was to ensure national food security, create employment opportunities, and provide raw materials for local industries, increase agric exports. The PFJ initiative was anchored on 5 key pillars of interventions, namely provision of improved seeds, provision of fertilizer, provision of extension of services, delivery, marketing, and e-agriculture. The program focused on promoting the cultivation of major staple food crops and vegetables widely grown across the country, including maize, soya beans, sorghum, groundnut, tomatoes, and pepper. Under the initiative, interested farmers received support in form of improved seeds and targeted crops, fertilizers, and extension services provided directly by the ministry. The other pillars, particularly marketing and e-agriculture, were implemented in collaboration with private sector partners. Mr. Speaker, beneficiary farmers assessed fertilizers under the program at subsidized rates ranging between 20% and 50%. Mr. Speaker, the first phase of the program was implemented under a 6-year period from 2017 to 2022. The quantity of fertilizers distributed and corresponding amounts paid under the program are presented in Table 1 below. 2017, 121,000.01. The amount paid was 212,842,042.50.
We no for John Dumelo, so far by the Chile was share in Yanini Kuyo and some so much of Jenny de Maya was so west Wogon. About war and person so. Na ye quite a name our woman share and similar we are singing now and woman share moon or more share name was say or more bear for quite a fast so dear if in a human went to share and quinta buo and this hanyuman ebe rivremo and announced my University of Professional Studies Accra UPSA. One more apao Institute of Professional Studies for Entoma ewo mu esuapon no emu a ebeboa ama wiase de edi akire no wo mo so atumi apemedi akire bie de okogina mo asua musuafo anamu de nsamudo to dwadwumedie no ase no wono na Director of Tertiary Education Dr. Emmanuel Newman no akire se eba no Professional Studies in Education ho nsansam a edi akotene pa wo ne wiase mu ena fe de friend se technology abefo kwan efa so di dwume no ho adesua so pem ko ne nim ti na sese o man Ghana han so suapon awodo e wo ha se de aban ene mo masua mu asoafo ne de atodwa no e wo se suapon bia pagya na desua ne mu e wo sa afa ho se be ye betumi abo ma Ghana ye so yetumi ahwe de achi na wo mo be wie school beba no professional studies no musua enko ade a wo mo betumi abaye adwuma e wo nnwuma awodo a ye wo wo no man yi mu ene amano ne.
Education remains the cornerstone of national development. However, in an increasingly competitive and knowledge-driven world, the nature of education must evolve to meet the demands of the modern world. Professional education plays a critical role in this regard. It bridges the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application. It equips individuals not only with academic qualification, but also with industry-relevant skills, professional ethics, and the competences required to thrive in the workforce.
We Dr. Emmanuel Newman, one who and a head director of tertiary education. No kojina so for shon masua ensem so anim anasa na nemo edesanse metu dwa ye koni partner yemu ensem.
This segment is brought to you by King's Home Studios.
Agenda 111 jumadie ya bandada no ene hyase so besisi ya sabia wo mensin ahodo wo mayimu no twifo heman lowa de nkyira mensin ni mo monsa kan bi ma me no ka say dru be wo ha mu nkyemu aduaso 70% complete kranka aban no etumi aba ho amretia bi mu obetumi awie yese dan ne yesiesi na kade bi kra wom air condition no mde bi babubo mu na nso ni nyina no entumi awie peye na aban sesaye ebaye adehia ewo twifo heman ho and one more saraban say beya senia ya sabia ne mpanimfo sisi koduru ye no wo mo mehwe no mo mawie fam mo sansa kakakra bi na hyase eye adwuma bopomuden nsem e ma adehia wo no mo twifo himan ene twifo mpatamu ho nyina na wo mapomuden ho nsem atumi agyira nti wo mde adehia yi to aban no anim se wo mra na wo mehwe wie se beye betumi ahyase aboa wo mo
besra man se kana cho bebre senia ya nyinba wa wanda ya kuduru abanya ba no bi tan o jabe o ma be pro so ma ye ne mo ma ne mo tfi ma lo ande cham se ni o yesa bibia ni agise kopra so ansa na yakwa akogya ya ese ha nyu bia zo mi yes ka dia fa ka so de kopra so je mi ka tra ba se ye pa de chawala o mu ncho mo ni no mo mla me hospital no mo nye ma ye adi fe fe si ya no mo ye aka wira mu yesre na o mehwe o ntware ni mehwe e ma ye
we currently yesre Omampani John Dramani Mahama say wabai omon ho moden pa emaye na hospital no yentumi nsinwie kura sese no aka wuram aban kore na aban nan sisa na bae no hafu pa nti yebesre bebre na didie mu untwe nani na de wo mehwe eye agenda 11 na wo Chifu Himan wa denchira no.
Chifu Himan adehia wo moto na de adesedi eto aban nanim. Eno a chensa ntwerefo ebopini wononyafo Patrick Fiabo. Se won hwe na Chifu Himan ho no sade ne emasi kuro no. Sen ne de no moye de afa ho no no so kire se adehia wo ho nya abotoye mo sanse aban no eba ye no aye na adwen agenda 111 na bandada na awie nyina obehwe no awie eni Chifu Himan fo emfiri mu da so ada aban na koma so se enton kwosisa afi enko na wie ye beseti ase afifofro mu de na Chifu Himan fo enya wo mo hospital
agenda 111 no awo ho ma ese ho senfu na me so me ba mako ho metu ho na mo because here the work there na say na nkeka there no person ko commission and sana ya to abano but work done no there me nimba can say it's about 70%. We need the state hospital our with the passionate appeal nam days reserve abano estimate is about 10. As of now, I don't know the number of 10 and I selected districts now. You may 10. I mean, the agenda 111 within this budget. It's a day count there. Kebeye de na yetimi enya hospital na my mouthful.
we yo no nyamfo Patrick wono na ya ban krache pani wo Chifu Himan lower denchira mensi no emo na minority no ya wo mo abedwafie ene wono mo ka kire asuye hwe nyina mahoden ensem so se wono mo fa krata bi mra bonten krata yi no eno ena asuye hwe nyina mahoden ensem so be ka kire ye se temamufo se de nkrofo ka ho asam dodo se wono mo koto bibigu mo prepaid so ana se wo munya to kane ya no a eye ni na asa kane no de na nketumi de mu twa bosome no entimi enfo mu entwa bi sese anu ayedene enti aman nya bibi fa ho enam so e ma yewura bugina po ye wono ene eso afo hwe nyina mahoden sam so be kire se papa wekuo bi ye wo mo ye san hwehwemu no mo be na wotwe miensa omo fan hwehwe de enti a ye prepaid ni ye to ya na asa na ebi mo so de ye wo hwa bre sese edu mu duru entumi fo wo mu nduru enne dom kuma ne ka ho asam se senhwehwemu na sunsun sanso ababonten dia energy ministry no omo fanto abonten omo publish magana fo nyina menya mu ntiase na weyi ase ye nhwehwemu abremu na se matena so dia ebeda ne ehusie hawa ye de bremu maso ano anaso ma ye bibi dia fa ho eno ne dom kuma no e ka kire asuye se omo fa meto abonten ma yentumi enhu so ononyafo Collins adomako mensa wono na deputy ranking member ewo energy committee ewo emrahye no other sansemi tuja.
We are now well past 3 weeks since the minister's directive. The report has not been published. The minister has not addressed the public. Consumers are still watching the prepaid credit drain. This is not a new crisis. The cycle of consumer outcry, followed by audits announcements, followed by unresolved complaints, has now repeated itself at least twice within 14 months. The PRC's own executive secretary, Dr. Shafiq Suleiman, identified 3 distinct technical causes for the rapid credit depletion, ranging from meter connectivity failures to aging hardware unable to process the new MYTO tariff parameters. He further confirmed that consumers would not be left to absorb the cost of metering errors and that PRC would ensure refunds where overbilling is confirmed. Yet, weeks later, not a single verifiable published report has been made public or laid before Parliament. We make the following demands. First, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition must immediately publish the full investigation reports submitted by ECG. Ghanaians deserve to know the scale of the problem, the number of affected meters, the extent of overbilling, and the corrective actions taken. Second, the PRC must lay before Parliament and the public its own findings from the emergency meeting of 26 February and state clearly how many meters have been replaced, how many consumers have been compensated, and what systematic fix has been deployed. Thirdly, we call for a parliamentary committee hearing on this matter, and we will be tabling the necessary motions to that effect. This cannot be allowed to become another promise.
Ononyamfo Collins Adomako Mensa ono ana kyerɛ sɛ Ministry of Energy no omuma publisher senti a ye top prepaid na nasa eye ni nahwe no sebe betumi enye ye ho entiase na ye koye ni mo ye mampani ye sasalansi John Dramani Mahama kasa de afa efierafo ya enei wonomo ebo atwamenebo ede kyerɛ temamufo enei edan no ewo ho ni so a enti obobo no kyerɛ wa uni bibia ye sɛ wobetua na wakwakotenem wo akwatenem a baabi a wote dan so ma ye tu mo akwakoda bontinti we den a wobetua ene bie wu nso wo ya mamre mu sɛ abosomi nsia ene sɛ fierafo wo mogye sɛ me a me kwakotenem mu na me wo pepa sɛ me de metua be 2 years bi de atoso a eno no wo ho na so so no fiera ntimi nhye sa chenchenchen a 2 years na kofa bra wan kofa ma me fa me dan no ma wo ne ade wo mo kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ abosomi nsia ene wo emrenim ne mampani eka sɛ okwa akwaje dan abosomi nsia ne kuta wo na fiera no so wonye a ubetumi ade no akobia ye sɛ ye wo de no ekɔ na asotwe bi ewo ho anase de sɛ wo mo ye de fa ho no o matumi aye de afa ho ebie wo so ye mampani so obesere efierafo sese no bo na mo bobo ede to ye temamufo so na do dene eni timunhwe na munye jemu sɛ ba ye obi abetumi anya baabi ede ni trato.
Housing is a major problem, and for households it is consuming the income of households. We need to have a national housing dialogue and decide how, between the private sector, government and labor, we can come together and come out with a social housing policy to make sure that we provide affordable housing for workers to purchase on mortgage or to be able to rent at a favorable cost. The reason why private house owners are taking advantage is because of the deficit in housing. And so we have the rent courts. We say don't take more than 6 months of advance, rent advance. But the one who is renting and the house owner are both not prepared to go to the rent court because they are doing it quietly. He says pay 2 years rent advance. You can go and report him at the rent court and we'll hold that landlord accountable. But the one who is being asked 2 years rent advance doesn't want to go to the court. He will go and pay the landlord because he wants a place to lay his head. And so it is because we have a housing shortfall, and that is what is making them take advantage. Countries have instituted social housing policies that have been very successful. I've seen the Kenyan example, and Kenya has built hundreds of thousands of housing units, which they either rent or sell to government employees. In the past, employees have not been able to buy houses because we fix their mortgages in dollars. And because the dollar kept sliding and was not stable, then it means that if you take a mortgage, you find that eventually you are not able to pay, and then they take the unit from you. We just pray that we're able to keep the city stable. I've said that we don't want a strong city, we want a stable city. I want to know that every year the city will depreciate by 3% or 5%, 3% or 5%, so you can plan. And it will not add too much onto your mortgage bill. So now that we've been able to stabilize the city, let's work together to maintain it, because there are many benefits that all of us will get from a stable city.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana Mampani, enono. Na ya tuaso akoye ni mua. Achumamponuya mensi ni mu, abanka jipeni ononyamfo Isaac, Abraham, anase Ibrahim, wano anetumia boa, na watoto niyeme biti se emo anwa, eni niyeme biya ekeka hodi ya koma, wano ekunwe free mu, sebi ekunafo, eno wade akwa drum wamo, mensi ni wachirese, Ramadan fasting no beba na wie ye no wo hwe na watumi aboma wo mo a kunafo no a wo muntumi sebe enyinya nneoma bi esese nka wo nsatumi kan nyina no wode akwakodom wo so no eba no sa adoye ne ade no enda ma na nije wo abrabo mu ne senti dane de nyina wo hwe so betumi atene ne nsem wa foforo nso so ebi etumi enye bi honorable Isaac Ibrahim ede nsem wei etudwa
na wakan mostly omo ayo society omo ho omo bopa in nankafo ne akonafo ye say nkrabofo ye de ya chiriwe ba wiye de ya na de ba wiye ya ifi bia no adwane kakra ejo ma ne kakra ye say saka na mefa ene mempenifo otamachi deputy director general of narcotics and party ma ye say beboa ti nedwe ye frɛ akonafo be ne pa be 120 say omomra na empebi kakra mo omo na omomfa kwesane omachiri ya na bibi kakra na mfiri ya nko aho so ifiri ya papa John Dramani Mahama nko ketekete na wode maaye no so abamfa so ye menya meye omo no na me se betma ye mo na se mo na enwo a ese me de ma omo amanya bi no na omo so omo hu abano so fa so to we ni potay titro pantia ene dwumadi ye
We Honorable Isaac Ibrahim, and actually 1 month saka, and near may be a different bank cratchip and you home, which the woman you saw, and listen, you bet to me about 1 more, and was it name.
So I prefer why I might say, Empire boy, at the Tanachi. Afia Dunia, I contra. I was say, one of the show you be my may see who say, Empire a woman, no. Ometana ko nyana so ade fefa de ma ya debate sane ya chiriwia ena ode ama ya akokọ e mo kale a ne indomie ni nyeme nna no de awon na aka me kuna awu Agyemang nkula ena woto ne safa ese ya mra ya ba ne soso na mpa wa ya de fefa de ama disi aba ko disi aba akọ disi aba ko ye hunu bidda enye na me mariama me nwura edan we mu da jo mama adawuruma wode nkokwa ne ba amanfo se nkokwa nkete ene nkokwa nkete no emfasoni nkokwa nkete no emfasoni obiani atisame Afia shome edwure me ne me mma ye me mma bedie efiri nansane da madwene ho sase wotumfo nyankopon edie ba adie na me mma bedie ana wotumfo nyankopon adaworoma me wo ha na disi sa me mra me ba na ode ma me ne anwa ayitaria entosi enyama bebre no ode ama enti nyankopon me da John Dramani Mahama se ene onabu DC enam ne so na abesi onabu DC so a ene wa ma yansa kunafo yeso yansa akoya no ti nyame nhira no nyame nhira wona abam mpanifo nyina nyame so are
we aye nipadodo bia wa twema ponua mansi ni mo akunafo na oma ban crash pani hu ni yese esese otumi eboa wombo ewo krebofo achiwie yi ya wo mode ba wie no eno nenam so ma wo yes adoye yi ede ema wo mo so akire o mani so yi ye twa ye ho na ya je aboafo kraso e ba ye kodwadie mu ensem.
I welcome you to Kino Computers, your one-stop shop with the perfect tech solution. At Kino Computers, we give you the best deals on quality laptops, phones, and accessories. Whether you're looking for a high-performance laptop for work, a reliable phone for staying connected, or the latest accessories like M.2, SSD, wireless mounts, ergonomic keyboard, and USB adapters to boost your productivity, we've got you covered. We also provide expert repair services as well as nationwide delivery on all our products. Visit us at Adum on the ground floor of the Abanaba Plaza near the Relish Health Shop for unbeatable prices and exceptional service. For more information, call us on 0248 137672. 0248 137672. Kino Computers, beyond your expectations.
For desktops, UPS, toners, and printers galore, Bell Enterprise has got it all. From CCTV cameras to office chairs that keep you in style at affordable prices that will make you smile. For schools, businesses, and individuals alike, we have what you will surely like. Contact us on 0245 099 786, 0245 099 786. Hook Bell Enterprise. Shop with ease. Introducing the Smiling Shack Outdoor Solar Camping Light. A new modern way of lighting up your world. It's a powerful portable lamp with 2 modes of brightness, a strobe light as well as a flashlight. You can power it through solar charging or Type-C charging. With a built-in high-capacity lithium battery, you can also use it as a power bank to charge up your mobile phone through USB. To purchase one, contact 055 051 5323 or 053 520 3534.
This is what mini wireless networks look like. But hey, this is what they actually look like. Introducing Kenny Rose Wireless. Switch to Kenny Rose Wireless and enjoy streaming without buffering, communication with no lagging, business without restrictions, and achievements with no limits. Get connected today. For enquiry, sales, and support, contact us on 020-8282-810. Visit our website on www.kennyrosewireless.com. Kenny Rose Wireless, internet made easy.
Download the AP Media app now at apmediagh.com/app. It is currently available for Android devices. Coming soon to Play Store and App Store. This segment is brought to you by Tizo Aluwex.
Abusua emamu nyina mo akwaba. APTV AP Radio 105.7 kasafidie so. Enyumre no nsia kase ene eguso ede esomo na yeto so ewo dwadie mo ensemu a. Odonyafo Alexander Afenyo Markin wodo ne soafo a anase edom kuma no wono mo eba no dani ewo ye mrahye bedwafie. No ano so ekire se enema bi wo hono mo a enheda entwaye ewo aban no afam enema ebetumi aboa mo man Ghana yegyina ye na so no. Enye no no mudi gugu akwam no. Osesesa aban no etumi boa na vocational and technical education ohwe na opejemu na ebma oman no etumpon se no wiase nyina ehwe sabe fo kwan yefa so di dwuma ene enema ene no na etumpon na ekosoro technology no etumi nya ho adisua ne yie ewo manyimu enu nti no omkofa activate de baye eni sesesa aban no hwe na activate hu suku hu akade ne ade otumi de biko na ebo wo masua no ekwan so.
Careful how I put it so that somebody will not go somewhere and say Afenyo Markin or the minority are against establishing universities or they don't want many Ghanaians to benefit from university education. No. But at the heart of the job creation, the job market is technical education, vocational training. There's nothing wrong with calling it engineering institution. But Mr. Speaker, there's a huge space where our youths lack technical education. We are investing in formal education, helping our children to earn white-collar job certificates. So he has a degree and he looks down on some apprenticeship that would have even created opportunity for him. I think the policy should be broader. And I'm happy the Minister of Education is here. We are making a huge mistake. We complain about Galamsey, but a lot of them are frustrated and they are there. It's a serious national security threat. This is not a period for partisanship. It's about our country, Ghana, and the policies that we implement and enact as a people. We've been elected to a privileged situation. The people have a high expectation. And the nature of the world of today, they know more than we think we know. We may be taken by surprise someday, maybe soon. And then when that someday comes, that someday will not know MPP or NDC, gentlemen and ladies. When that someday comes, there will be no distinction between MPP and NDC. So I am taking advantage of this opportunity to urge upon us. Once we create the opportunity for education, let us equally be serious about what will create the jobs, support for the private sector, opportunities for those who would want to go into industry, focusing on technical and vocational education, making apprenticeship attractive.
Yewra Alexander Afenyo Markin wono eneye dom kuma no wamo eba no dani no se aban no nhema na ni cultivate adisua technical and vocational no ho na no ene betumi anya baabi agina ye kwa mahodo so ensem.
This segment is brought to you by Desat Solutions.
UK Health Security Agency no echrese onwa husa meningitis B ama no homne so ewo bia ye Kent mpatam ho enam so manipa mienu ena atwa nanom ewansie do ememu be aduonu 20 die wonomo egidi yese meningitis B no obubetumi awobi eba besi March 18 for afimo eno omodi ehunu ye enipa mienu yese ba ko 21 ena ba ko so ewo 18 na cherese se ne yema no homne so na kwa akogina emebunu no efam womo a ewo suapon mo ene womo a ewo ntososuko mo ena sei eje ne home na ewo mu a UK Health Agency no ayo madwen se omode nhihye pabegu akwan mu na oma hwapo modin mu nsam se be ya meningitis B yi entumi enteta me no kasai one more na or my vaccination program meningitis B you ho ma one more university and one more SHS honeymoon.
Hundreds of students are queuing for antibiotics this lunchtime following a meningitis outbreak in Canterbury. A Year 13 pupil named by her teacher as Juliet and a 21-year-old from the University of Kent have died. 11 others remain seriously ill in hospital. Well, the UK Health Security Agency has contacted 30,000 people in the area to warn of the sharp increase in cases. Well, our correspondent Simon Jones is at the University of Kent this lunchtime. Simon.
Well, if you want a sense of just how anxious students are feeling here this lunchtime, just take a look at the queues. Hundreds of people have turned up throughout the course of the morning, hoping to get hold of antibiotics as a preventative measure. Now, the university had recommended people living in 2 specific halls of residence on site should come here as a matter of urgency, but many more have turned up. And some tell me once they get hold of any drugs, after that, they will head straight home back to their parents because they don't want to remain on site. The emotions being felt here shared by a school down the road in Faversham where a Year 13 pupil has lost her life. She's called Juliet, described by her head teacher as kind and inspirational. Now, the UK Health Security Agency says it's working with the university here and with the school. Laura Moss now has the latest.
Hundreds of concerned students have been queuing since this morning in Canterbury for antibiotics after news emerged of the meningitis outbreak that's claimed 2 lives. 13 cases were confirmed between Friday and Sunday. One of those who's died is a student at the University of Kent. The other is a Year 13 student at Queen Elizabeth Grammar School in Faversham. She's been named by the school as Juliet, described as a much-loved member of the devastated community.
Where is one some Boba at the free UK a minimum meningitis B and women say say University of Kent and Amsoma when we have vaccination at the Amawomo. A honey agent and I a dear numero siaka seeing in our AC. news.apmediagh.com. I will subject can be Samsung on Facebook and YouTube. Your handle near APTVGH, TikTok, Instagram, and X and Tintin Fidiano, APmedia_GH. Was on for boss lady, Afia Kyem, Agyemang, and maybe someone you ray. Madam, when you say, I'm a momo, any share, anything.